Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the Space Panda 200 here this evening with the Hypershift Racing League. As we get ready to battle, we get ready to duke it out here this evening from the beautiful Kansas Speedway. This is going to be another great night of racing action. A lot of great battles out there on the Speedway. Back and forth and door to door out here on the beautiful racetrack. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to go to battle. Huge shout out to all of our amazing sponsors, including our title sponsor here this afternoon. This is the Space Panda 200 here this evening in the Hypershift Racing League. In these drivers, they're ready to go to space. They're ready to get their rocket ships rolling out there on the racetrack, trying to put themselves up and in to victory lane here this evening. As drivers gonna jump out onto the racetrack, we welcome you guys in. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You guys already know what to do. If you guys are just watching, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to duke it out here this evening for what's going to be another amazing night of racing action. This is going to be a lot of fun here from Kansas as practice just about to come to a close. Practice just about to end. Drivers going to hop out there onto the racetrack here in just a couple more moments for their qualifying efforts, trying to get themselves off on the right foot here this evening, trying to not put themselves back in the hole. A good qualifying effort could have you starting up towards the front of the field and sitting in a good position. If we don't see very many caution flags, you may not have a lot of great opportunities to race your way up towards the front. You may have to use a little bit of that strategy down on pit road to help try to work yourself into the picture here late in this race if the caution flags do not fly here this evening. As we'll get them stacked up, we'll get them racked up, and we'll get ready to go to battle here this evening as drivers ready to duke it out. They are ready to go to battle here this evening, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great night of racing action here in this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time to see these drivers really duking it out, really battling out there on the Speedway. That's not the right one. Where are we at here? We need to get that top right banner. There it is. There's that 213simware.com banner up there in that top right. Is John D says Tiny Toes 1 and 2 today. Cheering on the Tiny Toes. Ryan says, my boy Robbie Tester. What's good, Mr. Tester? Says, hey, I won't be there tonight since I got banned. You got banned? You got banned, Robbie? What in the world? Robbie, how did you get banned, brother? How in the world did you get banned? What happened? Give us the story right now. Give us the gossip. Give us the tea here, brother. We like to sip the tea. We like to see what's going on there, brother. What happened? How did that happen? As we see these drivers jump out onto the racetrack here, a little bit of qualifying about to get underway. Adam Belton out there on the Speedway. Here comes that 88 ride, the Samsung machine of Christopher James. Kent Mueller in the DHL machine strolls out there onto the Speedway. Here comes Gavin Grubbs in that beautiful Menards number 12 ride out there on the racetrack. Here comes the Noble American machine, the 7 ride of Chase Abel. He's going to start his first lap here of this qualifying session as Daniel says, let's go Tiny Toes. Cheering on the Tiny Toes rides out there on the Speedway as well. So let's see if any of these Tiny Toes rides are out here trying to lay down their times yet. We don't see. Oh, here we go. Dalton Wicker. He's out there. Beautiful looking new paint scheme here for the Tiny Toes. 77 ride is Wicker, looking to try to lay down a great lap time, hoping to try to race his way up to the front of the field. Right now, he's currently 7th quickest out of 8 drivers who put a lap time down. He's going to be looking to find a little extra speed, a little bit more out there on the Speedway. Here in his second lap is right now Adam Belton with a great second lap. He jumps up to the top of the speed charts. Drew King now into 6 years. Al Likens up and into 3rd as Jonathan Cogswell qualifies there in that 2nd spot. Cogswell has had some very, very tough breaks here in this series already. As there we go. Dalton Wicker, a great lap there. The second lap moves him up into position number 4 as of right now. So up inside the top 4 there for that number 77 ride, but he quickly falls outside the top 5 as Anthony Ludi jumps into position number 5. That Sprite number 95 ride up into the 5th position. James Hudson now into third, as here comes Gage Wenzel. Wenzel with a great lap. He jumps into the pole position. Wenzel now out in front. He's got that top spot, the pole position. As of right now, everyone trying to knock him out of that top spot, as we do see the other Tiny Toes ride stroll out there onto the speedway. That is Corey Denk. Denk out there on the racetrack, trying to put that car up there into victory lane. As Craig Michael Deacon, what's good, Craig? Craig coming in with the like on the stream. Hypershift Racing League coming in with that like and share as well. As 2-1-3 Simware coming in with that like in the share here this afternoon for the Space Panda 200 live from Kansas Speedway here this afternoon as we get ready to rumble, we get ready to play here today. These drivers, each and every one of them looking to try to pick up the checkered flag, as right now Corey Denk up into the 19th spot here for qualifying. We'll see if he can find a little extra speed here on lap number 2. Last week's winner, Zach Wilson's going to jump up into 4th. Wilson with a great lap time, now into that 4th position. Unfortunately, moving Dalton Wicker outside the top 10. Corey Denk down across the line, see if he can try to get a little bit more speed here and see if he can move up a little closer. He's going to jump right behind his teammate Corey Denk in Dalton Wicker. They may start side by side here this afternoon, as they're currently sitting in that 13th and 14th spot, as Brad Fulham jumps into position number 10 there in that 21 ride. And Michael Sheffield with a heater out there on the speedway, and he will jump into the top spot. So the number 1 ride, now the top position here in qualifying. He is in that pole spot here this evening and looking to start in position number 1 in that number 1 ride. As Kel Scoplin, hopefully I'm saying that right, says Tiny Toes to win. Linda O'Keefe says, let's go, Gage. Linda says, way to go, Gage. Gage right now sits in second here in qualifying. Just got knocked off that top spot by Michael Sheffield, as FP says, let's go, 9. Cheering on that 9 ride here this evening, as Al Likens unfortunately qualified back in the 19th position here. So Likens going to be looking to try to move his way up and through the field here, as Robbie Tesser says 54 wrecked me twice and I retaliated and I got banned. Lap 26 and 53 at Darlington. That same team has raced 30 all season. Oh, brother, that's rough right there, brother. That's rough. That's a tough break. I don't know if it's a perma ban from the league or what it may be, but man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, Mr. Tester. That sucks, my boy. That definitely sucks. And hopefully we'll see you back out there on the racetrack at some point in time as we get ready to go to battle here. The Space Panda 200 live from Kansas Speedway about to get underway. We have 134 laps of racing action here this evening, as Christina says, Wenzel fan club in the house. Get it, Gage. Cheered on Gage out there on the speedway as he's going to get ready to go to battle. He's going to get ready to try to put that 36 ride back up into victory lane, as the Juke Joint, what's good? The Juke Joint coming in showing the love and says, is there a meet racing? I don't think there is. Unfortunately, there's no meet. There's no trench racing here this afternoon. It'd be nice if we had them out there, though, wouldn't it? I don't know what the boys are doing on Thursday nights, but they should definitely get into this league and definitely join the fun here with the Hypershift Racing League, as they could be a part of the show. They could be out there on the racetrack battling here this afternoon on Peacemaker Gaming, as we get ready to rumble and drivers start rolling down the pit road here into corner number 1, as starting in the number 1 position in the number 1 car, that is Michael Sheffield. Sheffield here with that pole position will start out in front. He'll have the 36, the Tom's Tasty Taters and fish sandwiches. Number 36 ride will start there in second. Starting in the 3rd position in the 94 ride, it's the Amazon Prime machine. That is Adam Boughton to his outside in the 7. The Noble American machine, that is Chase Abel. Starting in position number 5 on the racetrack in the 51 machine, that is the beautiful looking 51, the Rogue Ride. That is Zach Wilson to his outside, the Monster Energy number 2. That is James Hudson. Then we see Ryan Chronister, a great qualifying effort there by the Xfinity Mobile number 19 ride, as he's up into 7th. The Premier Racing Subs number 24 ride of Jack Simpson there in 8th with Max Cost and Brad Fulham rounding out our top 10. Then we see Anthony Ludi, Chris Zofeld, Corey Denkin, Dalton Wicker side by side here in the Tiny Toes right back in 13th and 14th as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Kansas Speedway. As the one rider, Michael Sheffield, leads us down into corner number 1. It's Gage Wetzel who's trying to roll that outside lane, looking for a big run out of corner number 2. He's going to get a little bit of that outside fence. Gets that run, but unfortunately the one ride even better down low, and Sheffield will lead us down the back straightaway, down through 3 and out of 4. He's going to try to hold off that 36 ride, try to lead this first lap, as here comes Gage to his outside, door to door, down across the line. It's Sheffield who leads lap number 1, but quickly you see that 36 getting that big run, building up that momentum in that outside lane, and looks like he may take over this race lead. Adam Boughton trying to stay right there with him as they're going to power through and around that number 1 ride down the back straightaway. So Sheffield, our early race leader and our pole sitter, slides back to 3rd. Zach Wilson there in 4th as he's able to work himself just in front of Chase Abel, is able back there in that 5th position, as some great battling already door to door out there on the speedway. Let's take a look through the rest of our drivers here as Michael Carter in the 18 ride starting a little deeper back in the field. Same with Christopher James. That's where we see Chris Sofeld unfortunately falling back now into that 15th position. Corey Denk right there with him in the Tiny Toes at number 17 ride. Behind him is Brian Fine in the 9 ride of Al Likens. Gavin Grubbs there in 19th now with Justin Hendry back in 20th. Jonathan Cogswell down 5 spots early in this race. He is now in that 21st position with Aaron Spear, Jaden Newson, Drew King, Dylan Picklesimer, I do believe it is. Picklesimer there in 25th. Daryl Johnson back in 26th. And bringing up the rear of the field in the DHL number 8 ride, that is Kent Mueller. So 27 drivers taking the green flag here this evening, and they're all being led by this 36 of Gage Wetzel. Wetzel trying to keep himself out in front, but Adam Boughton putting some pressure on him here. Boughton trying to take over that top spot as Gage blinking a little bit down through corner number 1 and 2, and that's a tough break right there. Gage has got to be careful with that, as iRacing or some of the officials or even just some of the drivers are going to have a very difficult time of tracking where he is out there on the racetrack, and that's where we see a lot of issues potentially stir up. When a driver starts to have those internet issues, they start blinking out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, it could hurt your opportunities here this afternoon, as the car behind you or the car in front of you or any of the drivers that are around you, they don't know exactly where you are. If they can't see you, you're blinking out there on the racetrack, they think you're moving up the racetrack where maybe you're moving down the racetrack. You can make contact in a quick hurry. You could be going around without that driver even knowing it. Seeing how tight these two are at the front of the field, Gage Wetzel and Adam Boughton, got to make sure you don't have that blinkiness out there on the speedway. As Michael Sheffield trying to hold on to position number 3, you see that Rogue 51 ride quickly working his way around that one machine, as well as Zach Wilson trying the inside lane. Really wasn't anything there. Jumped to the outside groove and able to complete that pass and move around that Mobile One number 1 ride on the racetrack. Moving our pole sitter now back into that 4th position, as here comes Chase Abel. Here comes Max Koss. Jack Simpson back there in 7th, and already working his way up into the picture here just outside the top 5 is the Tiny Toes number 77 ride. That is Dalton Wicker. Wicker now into that 7th spot as he's able to move just in front of Jack Simpson, moving Simpson back to that 8th position as James Hudson there in the Monster Energy ride back in 9th, and it's a tight battle back here for the 10th spot on the speedways, the 88 and the 95 ride. That's Christopher James and Anthony Ludi battling out there on the speedway here for the 10th spot on the speedway. Ludi down low in the Sprite 95 ride, the 88, that is Christopher James. They continue to battle door to door, is right there trying to hunt them down. One driver who's already at 5 spots on the racetrack, Michael Carter, up into that 12th position. He's looking to continue his march up towards the front of the field. Same with Michael Carter, as unfortunately Ryan Chronister sliding backwards here. Chronister already down 6 spots, at risk of sliding even farther back as Al Likens Fence unfortunately got very loose there out of corner number 4. He was right there trying to put the pressure on Chronister, and now all of a sudden back in that 15th position. You see Cogswell able to get around him. Here comes Gavin Grubbs. Here comes Brian Fine and Chris Sofeld. Corey Denk back there in 19th here. Unfortunately, looks like early on the 17 ride struggled a little bit out there on the racetrack. His little contact right there as the 54 gives a shot to the 11 ride. And Chris Sofeld almost going around. Luckily enough, catches that car and keeps on rolling. But that opens up the door here for the 40 ride of Jaden Newson. Newson in the ASL number 40 ride, trying to work himself up and into that 19th position, and he will make that pass there on the Tide 11 machine of Zofeld. As Brad Fulham, he's sliding backwards as well here, already down 11 positions. And with that gearhead number 54 ride of Justin Hendry, Hendry working himself around that 21 as well, and now moving Brad Fulham down 12 spots here. Started in that 10th position, now back to 22nd, at risk of falling back to 23rd, as Dylan Picklesheimer works himself underneath of that 21 ride. Some great battles all around the racetrack. Is out in front, leading the train, it is Gage Wenzel. Wenzel out in front. You see a lot of drivers really sticking in staying true to that outside groove here at Kansas Speedway right now. That outside lane definitely seems to be the favorite and the most pivotal spot to be on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see throughout the evening if that changes, if that inside lane starts to become more available and start to see more drivers trying to use it and use the shortest way around the racetrack here to their advantage. But right now, it seems like everybody just trying to keep themselves up here towards that outside fence through these corners. And as you get side by side trying to make those passes, it gets very, very tough to keep on moving yourself towards the front of the field. As Stacy Benton, what's good, Stacy? Stacy coming in, showing the love. How are you, my girl? How you doing this evening? Coming in, showing the big love here in this one. And Stacy, it's always good to see you, my girl, coming in, showing the love there over on Facebook, as all the fans in the stands cheering on Gage and all these other drivers. As Robbie says, Anthony's too afraid to say anything, so I guess it's a perma-banned lap out. Oh no, Robbie, brother, that is a tough one, my boy. That's a tough one, brother. No one wants to see that. That's unfortunate and too early in the season. So that's a heartbreaker right there for you, and that's a tough one for the league as well. But glad to see you still tuning in, still cheering these drivers on, and enjoying some of the racing here this afternoon, and watching your fellow competitors, your drivers, and everyone else out there on the speedway battling here this evening. As out in front, it is still Gage Wenzel. All the Wenzel fans up here in the comment section cheering on that 36 run. They got to be happy right now as he continues to lead the way. As Stacy says, hey, my announcer crush. Oh my gosh. Stacy, you gonna make me blush up in here. Come on now. You can't be saying cute things like that. You can't be saying the cute things like that, okay? You're gonna make me blush up in here, okay? You're gonna make me too happy here, right? You're gonna make me too excited. Can't have that. Can't have that on the broadcast. We're not streaming to the right channel for that stuff, Stacy. Come on now. Come on now. As Gage Wenzel leads the way, Adam Belton there in second, holding on to that second spot as Michael Sheffield able to work himself back up into third, as Zach Wilson, who we saw drive up into that second position, now starting to fall back. That Rogue 51 ride back in position number 4, and once again, he is looking for more out there on the speedways. Chase Abel now trying to figure out a way to get around him as well, trying to move himself back up into position number 4. Max Koss trying to break his way inside the top 5. Would love to see that 51 continue to struggle out there on the speedway, as Jack Simpson, Dalton Wicker, Anthony Ludi, and Christopher James rounding out our top 10 there on the racetrack. Jonathan Cogswell back at 11th, with James Hudson back in position number 12 in that Monster Energy number 2 ride. And hey, listen, we like the Monster Energy. We like them. Stacy says, laugh my ass off. Okay, well, DM me the right channel and I'll subscribe there also. Oh baby. Listen, if I had one, I would send it. That's for certain. Maybe someday. Maybe if I get desperate enough, I'll start like an Only Toes or something, or Only Feet. I don't even know what those channels are called. I don't know about that one. Maybe an OnlyFans. Who knows? Start making some funny, but you know, kind of bleak, and maybe me naked standing in the kitchen cooking dinner or something with a robe on, or like a kitchen thingy. I don't even know what you want to call them. Apron, that's the word I'm looking for. Maybe start making some of that content. Me teaching people how to maybe fix tires on their car, or boost their car, or something with that. Maybe wearing some provocative clothing. I don't know. Maybe there's a section for that on OnlyFans. Maybe I'll have to start doing that. Maybe I'll take over the dad role, and for everyone that doesn't have a dad, I can be that for them. I can teach them those things that most dads would teach them. Is Gage Wenzel continuing to lead the way, but Adam Boughton not letting him run away with this one. Sticking right there with that 36 ride, not letting him run away as the 51 back around Michael Sheffield. Here Sheffield falls back again into that 4th position. Zach Wilson able to get back around him into position number 3. Stacy says, yes, please, laugh my ass off. Stacy, just for you, my girl. I might do it. Maybe I'll start that. The Peacemaker Fatherhood Academy or something. Maybe we'll make it up. Maybe we'll make a new YouTube channel just for that, just so that we can get that content out there for all the fans in the stands. As Wenzel, Boughton, Wilson, Sheffield, and Abel are top 5 out there on the speedway. Max Cost there in 6 with Jack Simpson, Dalton Wicker, Anthony Ludi, and Christopher James rounding out our top 10. But right now, our hard charger out there on the speedway back in the 11th position, just on the outside of the top 10 on the racetrack, is Brian Fine. Fine up 10 positions here early in this race, and you can see the dogfight that's building up back there behind him. A lot of 2 wide, a little bit of 3 wide out there as drivers trying to race their way up towards the front of the field. A lot of shuffling out there. It's door-to-door. You see that 19, Ryan Chronister and Al Likens in that Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine. As you do see Dylan Picklesheimer in the 54 ride, the 2 rider James Hudson all right there trying to battle against each other, and so far some great clean racing. Door-to-door and a little 3 wide here at Kansas Speedway's my girl Stacy coming in, setting it off here in this one. Stacy showing the big love here this afternoon. It's contact. Look out, drivers going around. We're wrecking down the back straightaway, and the caution flag will fly for the first time here this afternoon. It is my girl Stacy coming in, setting it off with the 200 stars, and it was getting set off there on the racetrack. Unfortunate contact here, as we figure that this 2 wide, 3 wide battling would unfortunately come to an end in a quick hurry, and that it did. The 45 ride. You watch Dylan Picklesheimer here, rolling the inside groove, and unfortunately kind of watches up the racetrack on corner exit. I don't think he realized that they were 3 wide. Comes up the racetrack over the nose of the 12 ride. They come together and pushes the 12 up into the 84 ride. Jonathan Cogswell into that outside fence, but as Picklesheimer comes down the speedway, nowhere to go there for the Tiny Toes number 17. Is Corey Dank hard contact there into him, man. Corey just really nothing he could do to avoid that one. He sees it unfolding. He tries to get down and out of the way. Let's see if we can get another angle here from Corey's perspective and see what happens here with that 17 ride. As he's trying to negotiate this, trying to figure out where he needs to go. As he sees this contact, quickly jumps down to the inside. Unfortunately, the 45 comes back down the racetrack right in front of him. Heavy contact right there between the 2. Luckily enough, he's able to catch it, keep that car still rolling, point in the right direction, not hitting that inside wall, and that is a good thing. So minimizing the damage out there on the racetrack for Corey Dank here this afternoon. But let's take a look back as we saw more contact, more issues for some of these drivers that were trying to get themselves through this. Some of these drivers trying to keep themselves out of trouble, not trying to put themselves into a bad situation. Unfortunately, the bad situation found them in a quick hurry. Now let's take a look here at the 54 ride of Justin Hendry. So Hendry sees this happening. They get together. Up into the outside wall goes James Hudson. Unfortunately, the 96 ride of Spear going to get into the back end of him. He gets hit by the 4 ride. They all kind of get stacked up right there. The 54 nowhere to go. He gets some pretty good damage. Continues down the racetrack. I'm not sure if maybe him in the 45 make a little bit more contact right there as well. You see Chris Sofeld, he gets in there, gets into the back end of that 96 ride as well, as everyone just trying to get checked up. Everyone trying to avoid and trying to keep themselves out of the carnage here, down and out of corner number 2. And unfortunately for a lot of these cats, really not much they could do here. Just wrong place, wrong time as they come together. 3 wide racing here at Kansas Speedway, and that's how quickly things happen, and that's how quickly you can end up with some serious damage out there on the speedway. See Jaden Newson slide right through there, full speed. Luckily enough, does get checked up and avoids any contact there for the 40 ride, as we'll get everyone back out there onto the racetrack. Everyone ready to go back to battle as our first restart of the afternoon. It's going to see Kent Mueller out in front. I don't believe, Kent Mueller did not come down pit side. So a bold strategy move here for the 8 ride. We've seen him take some pretty big swings already here in the strategy game, and staying out there on the racetrack trying to save that extra set of tires, maybe hoping for some more carnage back there deeper in the field, will now be our race leader here in this race, and he will get ready to set him loose again here this evening. The only driver yet to come down pit side, as we do see Jonathan Cogswell. His tough luck continues here as he got sandwiched there up into the outside fence of the 44 Farms ride. Unfortunately, for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, he's gotten tore up in pretty much every one of these races, and unfortunately he's had quite a bit of bad luck out there on the speedways. Again, my girl Stacy Benton coming in, showing the big love here in this one. The 200-star bombing and the like on the stream. I appreciate that, my girls. The green flag back out into the air. The 8 of Kent Mueller back onto the lap pedal here. Gets a great launch, quickly pulls away from the 36 of Gage Wetzel and that 94 of Adam Boughton. Boughton, though, with the fresh tires, and here comes that 36. He's got him as well. They quickly close in. His contact back there behind him. Look out, Chase Abel getting turned around right there. I don't know if we're going to see the caution flag come back out. There is the 9 ride of Al Likens. We saw Ryan Chronister. They get tied together, but it starts back here with the 7 ride. Again, a little 3 wide, but up there on the outside, you see the 88 of Christopher James. James trying to work himself around the 7. Looks like Abel gets a little tight, pushes up the racetrack there, bounces off the 88 ride not once, but twice. Then shoots down the racetrack right into the 19 of Chronister. Nowhere to go for Ryan right there. Heavy contact there for him. And unfortunately, we do see the 7 go back up the speedway, hard up into the outside fence. The 45 right of Dylan Picklesheimer able to get out of there, able to avoid the contact, but unfortunately, not so lucky for this 9 ride. Al Likens just trying to work himself through this action. Sees the 19 ride, see the 7 make contact. He's just trying to get down onto the apron to avoid it. Gets clipped right there by Ryan Chronister, and that's going to send Al Likens around down into corner number 3. The car spins around up into the outside fence. Heavy rear end damage there for the Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine. Chase Abel just keeping himself up and into the outside fence there to avoid getting ran over from behind, and more issues for him as we do see the 19 ride also make heavy contact there into the wall, as well as both drivers slide up the racetrack. And you do see Chase get a little bit more damage there as he ends up getting tied together again with that Xfinity Mobile number 19 machine. As George, how are you, George? George coming in, showing the love there on Facebook as well. Says, hello, my name is George. Hello, Mr. George Gonzalez, coming in, showing the love here this evening. Coming in, showing the love there on Facebook. As tough break. And you do see the 19 ride. He's trying to get that car pointed back in the right direction, trying to get it rolling here again. Let's jump on board here with the number 9 ride of Al Likens. As Likens, so close to avoiding contact, so close to keeping himself out of issues here this afternoon. Unfortunately, they come right back down and collect him as he sees it happening. Here's the contact in front of the 7 ride down the racetrack, slams into the side of the 19, sees that 19 getting bent out of shape, and thinking he was clear right there, all of a sudden gets tagged, gets taken out in heavy damage there. or that Napa Auto Parts machine as his crew is going to go to work, try to get that thing fixed up and back out there on the racetrack as we do see Chase Abel still down on pit road. Same with Ryan Chronister. Corey Denk also down on pit lane. Extended pit stop there for the 17 Ryan, but he's going to roll back out onto the racetrack. So isn't the 7 of Abel. So isn't the 19 of Ryan Chronister. And unfortunately for Jonathan Cogswell, looks like he has taken his car down behind pit wall, and his night may be over. As the 9 right of Al Lyken's going to make another pit stop, trying to get this car repaired, trying to get this car fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. As we'll get them stacked up, we'll get them racked up, and we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this evening. As we did see a couple other drivers make some pit stops there, I do believe. No, we still haven't seen Kent Mueller. He fell back to 4 or 3rd there just before that caution flag flew. So the 94 right of Adam Boughton, the 51 of Zach Wilson, both able to get around that 8 right. Unfortunately for Gage Wenzel, he gets slid back into position number 5 as he kind of got stuck in behind that 8 right down the back straightaway. The fresh tires laying down some fast times out there on the speedway. Unfortunately for that 8 right yet to come down pit road, he may be a sit and duck, but trying to play that strategy may open up the door for him later in this race to make that late race pit stop, maybe have that extra set of tires behind pit wall and have everyone else kind of just sitting down low and out of his way as he may be able to power down and get around each and every one of them. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, it's Adam Boughton, our race leader, as he takes us back down into corner number 1. Green Flag Racing again here at Kansas Speedway, and we already see a number of laps clicked off the board here in this one. Already 30+ laps down, and we're about to hit that 100 laps left to go here this evening as Boughton trying to hold on to that race lead, but down to his inside. The Rogue 51 right trying to take this lead away from him. Zach Wilson trying to get back out in front. Wilson there in position number 2, putting the pressure on him, and here comes Dalton Wicker. Wicker in the Tiny Toes ride. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're cheering on that 77 ride, well, here you go. Oh no, he gets collected as Boughton. Oh baby, hang on to it. Boughton back up the racetrack. Looks like he is going to collect the 8 right of Kent Mueller. All that strategy for Mueller may have just went out the window as the caution flag will fly here once again. As problems at the front of the field, unfortunate contact here for our race leaders. Watch Zach Wilson down on the bottom side. I'm not sure if this car gets loose or he's just washing up the speedway here, hoping to find a run around the 94. Unfortunately, just could not leave the lane. They make a little contact there down into corner number 2, and unfortunately puts that 94 up into the outside fence. He bounces off the outside wall, comes back down the racetrack, collects that 51 right again here, and you do see some pretty good right side damage there for the 51. He's able to catch that car before making contact with the inside wall, but unfortunately the issues for Boughton gonna continue here as Adam just trying to keep that car pointed in the right direction after this contact right here as they come together. A corner exit shoves him up the racetrack. He's going to get some pretty heavy contact there into the outside fence. Pretty good contact here as well with the 51. That's just going to send him back up the speedway. You see Dalton Wicker trying to get up and out of the way here. Unfortunately, couldn't get out of the way quick enough as he gets sandwiched there into the outside fence. Heavy right side and left side damage for that 77 right. Then watch Boughton still trying to get the hang of this car here. He finally locks it up, but unfortunately for Kent Mueller, hard contact into him right there. Heavy left front damage for that 8 right now. Everyone else just trying to avoid him, and oh! The 2 right gonna absolutely T-bone him right there. Heavy contact for him. Heavy contact there for Carter as he also gets collected there. Heavy damage there into the outside fence. Chase Abel just able to get down low and out of the way without running into James Hudson. As Hudson, man, he just was sending it down in there. Unfortunately, could not get checked up quick enough. And he is going to T-bone the side of this 94 ride who's parked right in front of him. Heavy damage there for the Monster Energy Ford out there on the speedway, and a bunch of tore-up race cars, including a pair at the front of the field leading this race, as we do see Boughton still down pit road. Kent Mueller down pit side. Michael Carter Corey Dank, Dalton Wicker down pit side. Heavy damage there on the 77 trying to get repaired. Max Koss, Ryan Chronister, James Hudson down pit side trying to get that Monster Energy machine back out there onto the speedway as well, as he's going to roll back out there on the racetrack, but still very heavy damage. A lot of damage there for that 2 ride. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep on trucking or not. He's going to try to get that thing repaired. Is back out in front, leading the way here is that 36 ride. Gage Wenzel back out in front. He's leading the way here again this evening as he's able to put that Tom's Tasty Taters ride back out in front. The 2430 machine leading the way here again in the Hypershift Racing League. As Robbie says, laugh my ass off. RTR team, oh no. Of course it's Pickle that caused the first caution as usual. At least 54 got in the wreck. Oh gosh, Robbie's just out for vengeance here this evening. Is Jake, what's good, Jake? Jake says, Mr. Peacemaker Gaming looking cute today, baby. Oh, baby, Jake. I appreciate that, my boy. I appreciate that. Coming in showing the love here in this one, man. I like those comments. Those are some nice, cute comments. I appreciate those. Jake says, damn, low-key wish Wenzel got collected there. Oh, Jake, come on now. Come on now. We don't want to see any of these drivers get collected. We want to see non-stop, good, hard, clean, green racing out there on the speedway. We want to see every driver that starts this race finish this race. We don't want to see drivers park down pit side for an extended period of time, trying to get their cars repaired, trying to get back into the action. But unfortunately, that's just part of the game. As Gage Wenzel sees that green flag fly here once again. We are now under 100 laps of racing action here to go. As Jake says, oh, Jake, you're real nice. Not... We like that. We like that, Linda. Not very nice. Not very nice. Oh, he says, why? Because you can't beat him without him wrecking? Oh, gosh. Jake, they're going to get you, brother, okay? The 36 fan club, Wenzel fan club here tonight, they'll get you for a comment like that, my boy. They may hang you out to dry here in this one. I can't save you in the comment section, brother. I can't save you up there. You're on your own as we get battling here again as you see the 40 ride. Where did Jaden Newson come from? Jaden right up there and quickly into position at number 2. Is contact back there behind him. Look at the 45. The 12 right turned around. The caution flag back out onto the speedway. Spear collected and a bunch of other drivers getting tore up down the front straightaway in the cautions. Continuing to breed cautions here this evening. As unfortunately here, Dylan Picklesheimer, Gavin Grubbs, a lot of these drivers nowhere to go here and some very heavy damage for them. Let's take a look as it starts up here. A little contact back behind him is Al Likens in the 12 ride right here. Kind of get tied together on corner exit. I don't know if Likens maybe came up the racetrack into the 12 rider, if the 12 kind of came down the racetrack and got into the front end of that 9 machine. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. See if we can get another angle and see where this contact really starts to originate from. As you see Wilson there to the outside, they're 3 wide here, and it does look like Al gets a little tight on corner exit. He washes up the racetrack to that left rear, right into the bumper of the 12 ride, kind of hooks him down the racetrack. Unfortunately, as he gets that contact in here, it's going to turn the 12 of Grubbs down into Picklesheimer there. Seimer gets up into the outside fence there pretty hard. Picklesheimer just a innocent bystander out there in this one, trying to keep himself out of trouble. Unfortunately for the 45, gets tagged, gets turned around the car, unfortunately building up all that momentum out of corner number 4. Watches back up the racetrack here. Nowhere to go for Aaron Spear. Spear slams right into the side of him. Heavy damage there for the 96. Heavy damage for the 45. And you see everyone else just trying to get through there. And it looks like Chris Zofeld, unfortunately, kind of get collected right there as well. Zofeld hard into the 12 machine as well. And man, a lot of tore up race cars out there on the racetrack again here. We're quickly losing drivers out there on the racetrack. They're dropping like flies here during these caution flags. Let's take a look here on board with Zofeld as he tries to work himself through this. Sees the 12 through the grass. Unfortunately, slides right back up in front of him. heavy front end damage there for that 11 machine. Luckily enough, no one else collected here in this one, but we see 4 or 5 more drivers really end up with some pretty serious damage there. A little bit of left rear and left front damage for that 12 ride of Grubbs, but luckily enough, doesn't look like anything else there for that 12 machine. But we do see Aaron Spear, Dalton Wicker, Michael Carter still down pit side, Kent Mueller still down pit road, Adam Belton, who is out in front battling for this race lead, he's down pit road, scored back in the 26th position. Cogswell and Carter have both taken their car down behind pit wall, as Picklesheimer, he's down pit side for an extended period of time now. Same with Aaron Spear, as Gavin Grubbs does roll back out onto the racetrack as we get ready to go back to battle here in this one, as Christina says, Gage sneaking around like a thief in the night, just kind of tiptoeing around out there. That is for certain, as Gage is the cleanest driver out there. Gage is he's clean and he's fast and he's a tough cookie to beat, but he's got his teammate now to his outside. That's Jaden Newson. Newson has had some very tough luck here to start this season. I kind of had some high hopes there for that 2430 machine, and luckily enough, he was able to, battle back here. He started out at the rear of the field. Didn't seem like he had a great car, but some of these caution flags, he's right back into the thick of things, and right here battling door to door with his teammates, as you do see Jack Simpson there in that 4th position. Christopher James now up into 3rd here, and we also see Brian Fine, Justin Hendry, Zach Wilson back up inside the top 10. Here comes Drew King, Brad Fulham, and Michael Sheffield still running out our top 10, so our pole sitter back there into that 10th position, looking to race his way back up towards the front of the field here. Max Koss there in 11th with Chase Abel, Ryan Cronister, Chris Zofeld there in 14th, Corey Denk back in 15th there in the Tiny Toes, number 17 ride. Anthony Ludy, Gavin Grubbs, Daryl Johnson, James Hudson, and Al Likens rounding out our top 20 here on the racetrack. Unfortunately, that's going to pretty much round out the rest of our field. You do see Dylan Picklesheimer trying to get that car back out onto the speedway, but you can see this car still very heavily damaged. That rear toe link looks like it's busted, as that 45 ride is it's just crab walking down the back straightaway. He's trying to get this car pointed the right direction. Unfortunately, it just does not want to go in the right direction. Unfortunately for the 45, he's got to pull this thing back down pit side, get some more repairs done to it, and try to get that car fixed up here even more. And he may be down there on pit road for a very long time, trying to get this thing where it's at least back in competitive enough to keep on laying down laps here on the speedways. We do see the caution flag coming back out. More issues here. Oh, baby, more issues out there on the racetrack, and we do see that caution flag come back out. That's the 34 ride of Drew King turned around. The 51 ride, the Rogue Machine of Zach Wilson, again turned around and went in the wrong direction. Has contact here to the outside. Take a look here. Again, it looks like it kind of starts. We're going a little too fast, chat. Let's play this back. That was the wrong button. Let's slow it down, not speed it up, as the 24 to the outside. Oh, I don't know what happened right there with the 51 run. I'm not sure if something broke in that right front, but all of a sudden, this car breaks loose and jumps up the racetrack here. Rolling, trying to cut down the racetrack. All of a sudden, it just snap hooks back up the speedway, bounces off the 24 ride. Unfortunately, he gets sideways up into the outside fence there. A little contact for him. You see Hendry trying to get checked up to avoid running into the 51 or the 24 ride. And for Hendry, really not a whole lot he can do right there. Just trying to keep himself out of the contact, trying to keep himself out of the carnage here. And unfortunately for the 54, as he gets checked up, he gets into the outside fence, and then the 34 rider King is going to get into him, as we do see Sheffield up into the outside wall. They get together down the back straightaway. There you see the 34 is going to end up bouncing off that 51 rider Wilson. And they're both going to go around here on the back straightaway, and that's what's going to bring out our caution flag. So some tough breaks, some more issues out there on the speedway. As we'll get them ready to rock and roll here again. We'll get ready for another restart as cautions breeding cautions. And unfortunately, we're going to keep on losing drivers as Christina says Jake is outnumbered. Unfortunately, Jake might be a little outnumbered as Jake says, let's go Peacemaker Gaming, get us fired up, baby. Get Sirski, let's get fired up. Let's get ready to keep on battling. Let's get ready to see some more clean racing out there on the speedway. We saw what, the first 30 laps or so clean and green out there on the speedway. The first 30 laps of this race were pretty perfect out there, man. It was a lot of great racing. We didn't really see, too much contact or too much beating and banging. We didn't really see anyone getting wrecked out. And all of a sudden here, over the last, I don't even know, 20 laps or so, a lot of these have been under caution flag. Not even. Last 15 laps have been, they've been a little bit wild, chat. I don't know if it's a full moon outside or what's been going on, but it has gotten a little bit crazy out there on the racetrack. Is my boy Tyson Pancow. What's good, Pancow? Pancow coming in with that like on the stream, as well as Robbie says, ban them like me, laugh out loud. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. That's a tough one. That's a tough one right there. As Robbie says, park it, pickle. But he says, oh gosh, Robbie's just out for vengeance in the comments section. I'm absolutely loving it, brother. Keep those comments rolling. Everyone cheer on your favorite drivers right now. Let us know in the comments section, is your favorite driver still out there on the racetrack? Is he potentially going to win this race? Or just let me know who you want to see pick up the win here this evening. As Sean O'Keefe says, yes, clean and green. Yeah, clean and green. It's a blood moon. I did see that. It was a little funky here where I am earlier, but it definitely looked like it was like a little bit more of an orangish tinge to the moon. It looked very full. So I'm not sure if that's contributing to the carnage that we've seen here over the last little bit as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's see how many laps we get this time. As out in front, it is Wenzel. Wenzel continuing to lead the way as Christopher James now into second. Jaden Newson, Brian Fine, Jack Simpson are top five out there on the speedways. The green flag quickly back out into the air here at Kansas Speedway. As that 36 of Wenzel leads us down into corner number one. He's going to roll with the inside lane there and stroll back out to the outside on corner exit. Looking for a big run down the back straightaway is that Samsung 88 as Jaden Newsom right there on his back bumper and now up 19 positions, looking for the race lead down low. It is the Mac number 57 rider Brian Fine looking for the race lead, couldn't quite get there but still rolling down to the inside of our race leader and our second place driver, that 88 of Christopher James. As he looks for the race lead, you do see Jaden Newsom, Jack Simpson trying to join their teammates here at the front of the field. We'll have to wait and see if that Premier Racing Setups number 24 ride is going to have any issues out there. He did get backed into the outside fence there pretty good. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the tail end of that 24, but underneath all that sheet metal could be some issues for him here this afternoon. As Justin Hendry now into that fifth position after moving around that 24 ride. We do see Michael Sheffield, our pole sitter, trying to race his way back up towards the front of the field as Brad Fulham, Max Koss, Corey Denk now running out our top 10 here on the speedway. Chase Abel trying to work himself around that Tiny Toes number 17 ride for the 10th position is Ryan Chronister, Gavin Grubbs, Anthony Ludy still doing a great job out there on the speedway. Ludy in that 2-1-3 Simware number 95 ride rolls back there in that 14th position as Al Likens, Drew King, Daryl Johnson, Chris Sofeld, and James Hudson rounding out our top 19 here. As Hudson still, I do believe, on the lead lap here this evening. Is the last driver on the lead lap is Zach Wilson back out there onto the racetrack. He is a couple laps down here this evening, or actually he's only one lap down here now for that 51 ride. The driver back there behind him, that is Dalton Wicker. Wicker, unfortunately, multiple laps down here this afternoon. He's about 6 or 7 laps down. Some of those caution flags really helped out the 77, not going too many laps down, and he jumps up into 21st as Dylan Picklesheimer still trying to get this 45 ride rolling here. Still needing a lot of work done. They've started to get that car fixed up a little bit. Looks like it's at least now rolling and pointed in the right direction, so it looks like he's gotten that thing kind of fixed up here this evening as he rolls back in 22nd. Aaron Spear, Michael Carter, Kent Mueller, Adam Bounton, and Jonathan Cogswell still down in off the racetrack is out in front. Gage Wenzel able to hang on to the race lead, able to keep himself out in front, but the driver right there behind him in that 57 ride. Brian Fine has been working himself up and through the traffic, and he just laid down the quickest lap of the race. That last lap, the fastest lap by any driver here this evening, just laid down here on lap number 53 on the evening. And he's just starting to get fired up, and now into that second position, starting to feel a little bit of the effects of that clean air on the hood of this 57. If Brian Fine can work his way out in front, he may be the car to beat, and he may be unbeatable here. If he can find a way around that 36 of Gage Wenzel, Wenzel may have his work cut out for him, as you do see Brian Fine go for a little bit of a slide jump down through corner 3 and 4, looking for the race lead. But door to doors, the 36 able to stay to the outside of that 57, but we did see Brian Fine lead that lap. So Fine able to lead a lap here this evening, but now looking to try to clear that 36 and stay out in front and keep Gage Wenzel back there behind him. Wenzel, though, not going to give it up easily here this evening. As Jaden Newsom right there in position number 3. He's trying to battle here and keep that third spot as Christopher James and Justin Hendry right there behind him. Jack Simpson back in position number 6 with Michael Sheffield, Max Cost, and Brad Fulham, Chase Abel rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Gavin Grubbs, after getting tied up in a wreck not too long ago, that Menards number 12 right now rolls in 11th, trying to race his way back inside the top 10 here this evening. Same with Anthony Ludi back there in that 95 ride. Ryan Chronister, we saw get tied up, turned around, heavy contact there for the 19 ride. He rolls in that 13th position, a bit of a gap back to the number 4 of Daryl Johnson. And Johnson in that Busch Latte number 4 ride rolls there in position number 14. Al Likens, Drew King, Corey Denk back into 17th here in that 17 ride. Unfortunately, Corey has seemed like that car has been off all evening long. We've seen him multiple times come down pit road trying to get some repairs, trying to work on the car here, trying to kind of get this thing figured out, see if he can find something that works with him and works here in this beautiful Space Panda 200 here this evening. As down across the line, these drivers will click off another lap, and we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag as we inch close to that halfway marker here in just a little bit. These drivers, though, continue to put on a show here in this one. As Kevin Healy, what's good, Healy? Healy says, pump it up, baby. Let's go, Kevin. Healy coming, showing the love. Says, holy smokes, get the crowd going. Peacemaker Gaming, let's hear it, big dog. Let's hear it, baby. He's cheering on that 7 ride, cheering on the 7 out there on the Speedway here this evening as FP says, what number was you? Yeah, he was the 22. Yeah, unfortunate breaks there for Robbie last week. Unfortunate breaks for a lot of these drivers throughout last week and this week. Last week was really good. We saw these drivers put on a heck of a race, a heck of a battle. I don't think we saw very many caution flags there at Darlington. Now, Darlington tends to be a racetrack where we see a lot of drivers have those problems and unfortunately get beat up as Darlington, and it's not on stream. You'd have to have the replay saved. Yeah, I don't know if I caught it. I don't think there was a caution flag for it, or else we would have caught it. As Kevin says, I can smell a Peacemaker Gaming crank it up coming, baby. Kevin, you know me all too well, baby. You know me all too well, my boy. A crank it up is coming right around that halfway marker. We're looking at probably lap 66, lap 67. We're probably going to be cranking it up here this afternoon for these drivers, for the sights and sounds around the beautiful Kansas Speedway as the crank it up. It is right around the corner here, about the halfway marker of this race, and we're already almost an hour into the stream here. Things were moving along very, very quickly until we saw that onslaught of caution flags. Those caution flags came at us fast and furious out there on the speedway, but it seems like things have kind of settled back down a little bit here. Things have kind of gotten a little bit more cool, calm, and collective after that restart. Seems like everyone's kind of found their groove again out there on the speedway. And for Gage Wenzel, his groove is out in front and leading these races and starting to pull away from Brian Finest. He's got a 1-second lead here this evening. And here you go, Michael Sheffield, our pole sitter. He's starting to work his way back up to the front. Just made the move around Jaden Newson. Newson back into position number 4 as Sheffield back up inside the top 3. The 88 of Christopher James now running out our top 5 with Jack Simpson. Brad Fulham right there in 7th. Justin Hendry back in position number 8 as it's a dogfight back here. Look at all these drivers. They gangle back down the back straightaway into corner number 3. The 12 ride of Gavin Grubbs now finds himself up inside the top 10 here on the afternoon, and he is looking to keep on racing his way up towards the front here. Now, he does have quite a bit better tires than some of the drivers that were around him. A lot of these drivers we saw down on pit road on lap number 25 here, especially for our race leaders. It was lap 25. Now we're starting to see some of those drivers that came back down pit road, like Sheffield, who was down pit side on lap 34. Brad Fulham, this number 12 ride, down pit side on lap 39. So some of those other drivers that were kind of making those unscheduled pit stops with all those caution flags really started to work their way up and through the field. As Chase Abel, one of those cats, now up inside the top 10 here. Abel in that Noble American number 7 ride just inside the top 10, battling door to door with that 19 rider Ryan Cronister. They've got the 54 of Justin Hendry right there in between them as they're going to split them and take them 3 wide down into court number 3. The 54, cool, calm, and collective, quickly rolls out of it there, knowing that they were 3 wide. Didn't want to be a part of that. Rolls out of the throttle, slides back now into that 10th position. It has that 12 of Gavin Grubbs working to his outside. Is down across the line. They click off another lap, and we're going to get ready for our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Y'all called it. Kevin, you called it, my boy. He says that number 7 came back from last to 10th. Let's go. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? He's moving up through the field. He's got a little fresher tires and feeling good out there on the racetrack. As he says, let's see some more of the top 10 fights. That's a dogfight. It is a dogfight out there for, I think, every one of these drivers, except for maybe our race leader, but he may be seeing a dogfight of his own in a quick hurry. Rolling around the damaged number 2 ride as James Hudson rolls back out onto the racetrack. He's got about 2 seconds now between himself and this 1 ride, but Sheffield back up into position number 2. Now trying to track down that 36 ride here. And with a little bit of fresher tires, it may get very, very hard for that number 36 of Gage Wenzel to hang on to this race lead. As we're going to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up as we roll just past our halfway marker here this evening. Halfway in, halfway to go, as ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver in the comment section right now. Cheer them on. Let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see pick up the checkered flag here this evening as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Yo, the nurse Dabs coming in with the rain, coming in, show the big love, the nurse Dabs. I hope you had yourself a wonderful stream, and I can't thank you enough for coming in with that rain here this evening as the nurse Dabs coming in, showing the love here in this one. As we're in the middle of a crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. It's Joycelyn. What's good, Joycelyn? How are you, my girl? I appreciate that coming in with the rain and the big love. Says, hey, Miss Joycelyn. Hope you're well. Joycelyn, I hope you're well as well, my girl. I hope you had yourself an amazing stream. And I can't thank you for coming in enough for coming in with the rain as well here this evening. I appreciate that, my girl. Alrighty, as that was a beautiful Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up right there, giving us the sights and sounds around Kansas Speedway here in the Space Panda 200, live from Kansas Speedway in the Hypershift Racing League. As the action continuing to build up, the intensity here this evening as we see some green flag pit stops now underway here. Drivers have already made that green flag pit stop, and now some of these cats put into a very tough situation out there on the speedway. As it's Ryan Chronister who leads this race. Al Likens back in second with Corey Denk, Anthony Ludi, Gavin Grubbs, our top five. As here comes Brad Fulham down pit side there in the Flying Otter 21 ride down onto pit road. So a lot of these cats on varying different pit strategies after making their way down pit side here a bunch of different times throughout that slew of caution flags that we had there through lap number 30 to lap number 45 here. We've seen a lot of different drivers head down pit road. Now with this other good green flag run, we're starting to see these cats having to make those green flag pit stops. One of those cats was Gage Wenzel. Back out there on the racetrack, he's battling here with Anthony Ludi, trying to race his way back up to our race leaders to see if he can try to put himself and race his way back onto the lead lap. As before they come down pit road here, obviously he's using his tires up, he's using his equipment up. That's going to make it tougher for him late in this race, and potentially if we have to see him come back down pit road again here during this green flag run, as he's working his way back up through what is our top three on the racetrack. He moves around Corey Denk, who's right now our third place driver, but with the varying pit strategies here, and these drivers able to stay out there a lot longer than those drivers that were down pit side on lap number 25. They can hang out there for quite a little while. They can try to roll out here and hope to see another caution flag. If a caution flag were to fly right now, Gage Wenzel would be in that free pass position. Now we do see the 19 head down pit road, so he's going to make his green flag pit stop. But Al Likens out in front, now leading this race. He sees that number 36 of Gage front here of him. So Wenzel back on the lead lap. Chris Sofeld now the first driver one lap down if a caution flag were to fly. Sofeld having a great run and a great drive here in this number 11 ride. He came down pit road a little bit earlier, trying to use that fuel strategy and tire strategy to his advantage. He came down pit side about 8 laps, maybe even 10 laps sooner than some of these drivers that are back there behind him, and it may hurt him here in the long run, but in the short run he was able to leapfrog a lot of drivers and put himself now into that second position. We may have to wait and see if he makes that move again late in this race, and if it may help him potentially pick up a win or put himself into a great finish here this evening. This is, you're breaking up, Mr. Announcer. I'm breaking up. Oh no, oh no. We can't have that. We can't have that. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's better. Sean says it as well. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's not breaking up. It should be all right. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Checking. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hopefully it's not breaking up. We don't see any frame loss. Mike seems to be moving fine. Hopefully it sounds good. Tommy says it sounds good. Maybe you just have to refresh the stream. Maybe you have to jump out, come back in. Maybe sometimes that may be the issue as well. Tommy says we sound good up here in the booth, and we love to hear that. We don't want to hear that it's breaking up, or you guys can't hear it as smoothly and as nicely as you'd like to, as we do see some more drivers. Al Likens heads down pit side here in the auto parts, the Napa Auto Parts ride down here, as not here in Indiana, says Sean O'Keefe. Oh, baby, the Indiana internet maybe not up to par here with everybody else, unfortunately. I don't know if you guys are out in the country. Maybe it's just the internet. Maybe you gotta just quickly refresh the stream. Maybe it'll come back and refresh and be smooth and good again. Hopefully that's the only issue. Hopefully it's clean and good for everybody else, and hopefully then it gets better for the O'Keefes here as well on the evenings. Here we go. Here comes our race leader, that 34 ride. The Mega Machine heads down pit side. That is Drew King. So Drew King back down pit lane here on the evening. One of the last drivers to pit here during this green flag pit cycle, and it's going to cycle right back on through and back out in front, leading this race. It is that 36 of Gage Wenzel. Wenzel out in front as Michael Sheffield now into second, but he is 6 plus seconds behind our race leader. The gap is 6.7 seconds between our race leader and our second place driver. That's pretty much the entire back straightaway. So for Gage Wetzel right now, he is A-okay. He is sitting perfectly, breaking up here too. Thought it was just me, says Stephanie. Oh no. Let me make sure that the microphone is A-okay. It should be fine. It seems like it's fine. I'm not having any issues, I don't think, on my end. I don't know what's going on here. Is it still breaking up for you guys? Is it still breaking up? Because I can see everything. I can see, like, when I talk, my microphone, the volume bar, it's going up. It seems fine. It's not, no, it's bad. Linda, are you messing with me here? What do you mean it's bad? What? It should not be bad. It should be good. It should be good. I'm hoping that it's not. Yep, hear half a word. You only hear half a word, Stephanie. The mic is good here, says Kevin. Okay, Kevin says it's good. It's got to be on your end. Kevin says no breaking up on my end. Maybe they're just messing with me. Maybe they're just messing with me, chat. Are the O'Keefes and Stephanie, are they just messing with me up here or what? Come on now. Come on now. I can see everything on my end. The output end is A-okay. It is fine. I don't see anything. Like if I start to hum, I see it humming the whole time. It doesn't break up. It doesn't go down. The volume bar is continuously staying up. So I don't know why you guys would be running into issues there with the audio. So I don't know what's going on there with that one. I don't know what's going on there. I'm hoping it's good. You're doing good. Great, Peacemaker. Okay, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Kevin. Hopefully it stays good. Hopefully it's better for them, and hopefully it gets fixed up. I hope it's not bad. I hope it's not bad. Hopefully it gets fixed. Maybe it's just YouTube or what it may be. I don't know what that may be causing it, other than maybe connection issue for them or anything else. Everything on my end is A-okay. Even if on Facebook, I do see some frame loss over on Facebook, so maybe Streamlabs is having issues. Maybe it's Streamlabs. I'm not sure. Okay, that could be the issue. Maybe Streamlabs is running into issues over there. I'm not 100% sure. I do see a little bit of frame loss over there on Facebook. I'm not seeing frame loss on Streamlabs, though. So that's interesting. Sound great here. Do your thing. Catch you tomorrow night. Grand Slam. Yes, sir, Tommy. Yes, Sirski. You know it, my boy. You know it. Hat and hoodie combo are elite. Yes. Yes, Sirski. That's my boy KT Services right there, man. That's KT Services. We stay fresh up here. We stay fresh here. KT keeps us fresh, keeps us good, keeps us, you know, powered and hired and giving us some hours and money and everything else in work. We can't thank our boy Curtis Turf enough for not only being a part of you know, my family, basically being one of my best friends, but also being a part of you know, Peacemaker Gaming as well. Obviously, you see that logo right above me right now, and all of our other amazing sponsors here on Peacemaker Gaming. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we inch closer and closer. Oh, there we go. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. What is going on here, chat? I'm getting 0 skip frames on Streamlabs. I'm getting 0 anything elsewhere. I feel like this may be just a Streamlabs issue or server issue on the back end, not my end. Twitch seems fine. I haven't had any issues over on Twitch. Facebook, we did see some issues, but it seems to be fine now. And now I do see something pop up over there on YouTube. So this is very interesting. Let me see here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Still looks good on YouTube. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on, chat. I don't know what's going on. They're just messing with me here. I think YouTube, I think all of them are just kind of, you know, pulling wool over my eyes or something here. And we got some racing action to continue to watch, to continue to consume here this evening as, yeah, YouTube looks fine. It's still live, still rolling, still good. Hopefully it stays good. I'm just going to focus on the race here, chat. We still got racing action going. If I need to, I'm going to start recording right now as well, so that way we have this. And if I need to re-upload it so you guys can watch the end of it or anything else, if YouTube or Facebook or any of those places run into issues, we will get them fixed up. We will get them better and back in there for you. As here you go, as Eclipse is taking over. I can hear you okay. Yeah, maybe it's the swear not messing, laugh out loud, says Stephanie. Maybe it is the Eclipse, man. Maybe it is the Eclipse. I don't know what's going on. That's interesting. Mine buffered for just a second, but no major trouble. Okay, FP. I appreciate that. There was one small lag on YouTube, but other than that, it looks good. Okay, perfect. Perfect. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, chat. That's all that matters. Hopefully it looks good, sounds good, and we got some good-looking race cars continue to battle here this afternoon. Now, Michael Sheffield was back about 6.8 seconds behind Gage Wenzel. He has closed that gap a little bit, but I think Wenzel just trying to take care of his equipment here. He's out in front, still has just over 6 seconds here this evening, as just over 6 seconds here between himself and Michael Sheffield, as Gage Wenzel continues to lead the way. He's as fast as Xfinity Mobile out there on the speedways. Brian Fine back in position number 3. Jack Simpson there in 4th with Daryl Johnson. Johnson having himself a great day at the speedways. The 4 Ryan finds himself up inside the top 5. Christopher James there in 6th. Then we see Ryan Chronister back in position number 7. Corey Denk there in 8th with Chase Abel back there in position at number 9. As right behind Corey Denk, you do see his teammate Dalton Wicker there in that 51 machine. That is Zach Wilson. Unfortunately for Wilson and for that number 77 of Dalton Wicker, they are both a lap or multiple laps down here this evening, and unfortunately for both of them back in the 19th and 21st position out there on the speedway. As Chase Abel there in position number 9 is going to make a hard left-hand turn back down pit road. Back down pit side here for Chase Abel. One of the first drivers to make this extra pit stop here. The final pit stop possibly on the afternoon. So looking to try to use those fresh tires. Looking to try to see if you can leapfrog some of those drivers in front of them and work that 7 right into a great finish here this evening. He goes back down pit side. Same with Max Cost and that gearhead 54 of Justin Hendry. Is Hendry also down on pit road, ready to rock and roll, ready to jump back out onto the speedway. Here is Gage Wenzel out in front, continuing to lead the way. He was last down pit road on lap number 78. I feel like that was a very early pit stop there for a lot of these drivers, but they want to make sure that they have the tires here and can use them to their advantage for as long as possible out there on the racetrack. You could probably wait another 10, 15, 20 laps before coming back down pit side, but then you're going to run into that problem where you're only going to have 10, maybe 15 laps of racing action here as we inch closer and closer to that checkered flag as the 36 ride sees lap 107 go off the board, lap 108 up onto the board here, and we're within our final 34 laps left of this race, inside the last 30, almost the last 20 laps of this race about to come upon us here. And for these drivers, they know they need to use those fresh tires right now if they want to be able to leapfrog some of these drivers and put themselves into a better position late in this race. You wait too long, you end up not using them, not having enough time to have that time to catch up and close those gaps and make the passes that you've been hoping for. As we do see Michael Sheffield, Daryl Johnson, both head down pit side. Sheffield was rolling in second. Daryl Johnson, he was back in position number 5. They're now onto that strategy. They come down pit road. They look to roll back out onto the racetrack and see if they can leapfrog and maybe put themselves into a winning situation here this evening. As Gage Wenzel out in front, just continuing to lead this race, looking to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. As Wenzel out in front has an 8-second lead now between himself and his teammate. They're in the 24:30 ride. The Premier Racing Setups 24 machine of Jack Simpson rolls back there in position number 2. And the highest he's been here this evening is that Tiny Toes number 17 ride of Corey Denk. Denk there in position number 3, and we did see the beautiful red shoes there on that number 77 ride. His teammate Dalton Wicker is wearing Kansas, baby, and that means that a little bit of what is the movie that I'm thinking of here, chat? What's the movie? The Wicked Witch of the West here. The Wicked Witch of the West. You see that witch on the side of Corey Denk's car out there on the speedway. Beautiful looking paint scheme here as the Tiny Toes ride painted up. Beautiful there with the Wicked Witch of the West. And you look right behind him, his teammate Dalton Wicker. He's got those Dorothy high heels on right there, those beautiful red ruby toes. He's got Toto on there as well, and the dress there is the checkered colored thing. You do see the yellow brick road on there. We're loving the vibes here with the Wicked Witch of the West, or Wizard of Oz. That's the one. That's the one. I don't know what I was thinking. It's been forever since I watched that movie. It has been a very, very long time, and I'm glad somebody knew what I was talking about there. Yes, the Wizard of Oz. That's what it's called, and we love it. We love the paint scheme. We love the theory behind it here, being in Kansas and being right from where Dorothy was from before going into the Oz. As Kevin says, the Muppet movie. You could have got me with that. Honestly, if Emma didn't come in earlier, Kevin, you probably would have got me with that one, brother. I wouldn't have known. I don't think I've watched the Muppet movie. It's been a long time since I watched The Wizard of Oz, and you might have had me with that one. I don't know, though. That one might have been a little too far out to left field. Is Gage Wenzel out in front leading the way here, looking to try to put that 45 right another lap down, as we do see Dylan Picklesheimer still strolling out there on the speedway. Still heavy damage there, especially to the back end of that 45 right. Unfortunate contact early and throughout the middle of this race, and for the 45, just trying to salvage and get everything he can out of the day, and stuck back in that 22nd position. A lot of laps down here. His opportunity to win this race obviously out the window, but being in the action and being able to maybe see if he can put himself into a couple spots better, gain those few positions, those extra points on the afternoon, as Gage Wenzel continues to lead the way. 9 seconds is the gap now. 9 seconds between himself and Corey Denk. Is Denk back there in position number 2. Ryan Chronister's there in third with Anthony Ludi, and Al Likens rounding out our top 5 here on the evening. Gavin Grubbs there in 6th with Drew King back in 7th. And then we see Michael Sheffield. He was down pit road not too long ago, lap 108. He was down pit side, and he rolls in that 8th position. Now he is running about a second, almost a second and a half, quicker than a lot of the drivers here in front of him. So he's going to be laying down some very, very fast lap times. He's going to be trying to work himself around them, work himself back onto the lead lap, and trying to see if he can catch them up in battle and beat them here. As says with the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, he says. Oh, baby, with the Scarecrow and the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz out there on the racetrack. As Gage Wenzel leads the way. Sheffield trying to hunt him down, trying to use that pit strategy here this evening. But we do start to see Gage Wenzel giving up some time here to Corey Denk. Denk back there in position number 2. He was last down pit road on lap 89. He's got about 11 lap fresher tires than our race leader, Gage. Maybe starting to feel that pressure. Maybe starting to feel that the tires are starting to let go in this number 36 rider. Maybe he's just trying to save a little bit more fuel, knowing that if he can roll out there and not have to make another green flag pit stop, he may not have to worry about anything here this evening, as that Premier Racing Setups 180 Flood Drive 36 machine rolls out in front. Continue to hold these drivers back there at bay, but the gap is now less than 7 seconds between himself and the 17. Corey Denk can catch him in a quick way. Corey now, he does have the 11 lap better tires. He has 11 laps more of fuel, and that may get him a little closer to being able to finish this race without having to come back down pit road. If he doesn't have to make another green flag pit stop, that could put that 36 of Gage Wenzel into a very, very tough situation here. Gage may be just trying to save that fuel, trying to make it to the end here. If he doesn't have enough fuel, he'll have to make another pit stop where all these drivers are going to be passing him. He may get leapfrogged by a lot of these guys that have already came back down pit side. When we look back at Michael Sheffield, he's been using those fresh tires to his advantage to lay down some really good lap times that may be enough that he could have closed that 6-second gap that he had between himself and Gage before coming down pit road. Same with Brian Fine, Darrell Johnson, Jack Simpson. All these drivers are really hoping to see potentially a lot of these drivers out in front having to make another green flag pit stop here on the evening. But for Gage Wenzel, he's just trying to keep himself out in front, trying to make sure that he keeps all these drivers back there at bay. And with 14 laps left to go, we inch closer and closer to seeing who will pick up the checkered flag here this evening. And it's going to get pretty wild in a quick hurry here this afternoon as caution flags could happen, chat. We could see a late race yellow flag. We could really see things get a little bit crazy here this evening. Things could get a little bit wild if we see that late race caution flag fly. We don't know who's still got those fresh tires down behind pit wall, who may have the fuel, who may want to stay out and not come down pit side and try to risk it for the biscuit here this evening and try to use that tire strategy or try to use that fuel strategy and not give up that track position out there on the speedway. But you can see how much better those tires are out there on the racetrack. Here comes Sheffield right there behind him. Now, Sheffield was back down pit road about 10 or so laps ago, so those tires are as fresh, but they are a whole lot fresher than that 36, and he quickly catches up to him, rolls around the outside of him, and makes that pass, and you can see down the back straightaway how much of a gap he's already built here between himself and this 36, as Wenzel definitely starting to try to save more and more out there on the racetrack. The gap he had between himself and the 17 ride is starting to evaporate. It was 9 seconds. It is now 3.7 seconds between himself and Corey Denk. Denk may have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. He may not have to come back down pit side where Gage Wenzel may be running on fumes right now and could have to head down pit side any lap now. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. If Gage can save enough to put himself into victory lane, or if one of these other drivers that have made those bold strategy calls. Oh no, there it is. Gage Wenzel down pit side late in this race. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that may have been it right there. That may have been all she wrote for Gage Wenzel here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. If Corey Denk, Ryan Chronister, Anthony Ludi, Al Likens, Gavin Grubbs are the number 34 of Drew King, who was the last driver to come down pit road, do not come back down pit side, it may be all over for some of these guys. They may not be able to catch back up and make the moves around him. As we do see Sheffield, he had those fresh tires. He made that call to come down pit side and throw that fuel and tires on there on lap 108, and he currently sits in 7th, and he is back behind our race leader by quite a ways here, 25 seconds, but trying to use the fresh tires to hunt him down. Brian Fine there in 8th with Darrell Johnson back in 9th. Jack Simpson in that 10th position now, the driver with the freshest tires out there on the racetrack. Gage Wenzel finds himself in 11th here. He's got 4 seconds between himself and the 24 of Jack Simpson for a top 10 here on the speedway. Now he does have some very good tires. He can lay down some very quick lap times here and try to gain some spots here before this race comes to a close. But he's also got a very much hope that we see a big fall off here for Michael Sheffield and Brian Fine. A big fall off and potentially pit stops here late in this race for Corey Denk, Ryan Chronister, Anthony Ludi, Al Likens, Kevin Grubbs, and Drew King, as he is currently sitting a lap down on the racetrack. He still has to catch up to these guys, go around them, get that lap back, and chase them back down again out there on the speedway as we inch closer and closer to the checker flag. Inside 10 laps left to go for Gage. It may not be enough time to get anything done. He may not have enough time to even catch Daryl Johnson, Jack Simpson, or some of these drivers that came down pit road way before he did, as that's about a 9-second gap between Sheffield and Gage Wenzel right now. And if everyone out there in front of Sheffield has to come back down pit side, if they have to make that pit stop, that could open up the door here for a big win for our pole sitter in this number 1 ride. The pit strategy may have played out as late in this race, after seeing that slew of caution flags throughout the middle, now we see this one go clean and green right down to the end. Some great racing action. Here you go. You do see our race leader now getting passed by that 36 of Gage Wenzel. Wenzel puts himself back onto the lead lap. He's back into the lead lap here this evening, but with only handful of laps left here in this race. 5 laps left to go. It's going to be pretty much impossible for him to cycle all the way back around the speedway and make the pass again on the 17 ride. So it may be in the history books here for that 36, but for the 17 ride, the Tiny Toes ride, looking to try to put himself and the Wicked Witch of the West up and into victory lane here at Kansas Speedway. Now the big question is, does he have enough fuel? Can he make it to the end of this race? And is there anyone back there behind him that may be able to catch him and roll around that 17 and steal this win from him here this evening, as he is out in front with only 4 more laps left to go? Can Corey Denk get it done and put himself up and into victory lane, as Ryan Chronister about 3 seconds back there behind him? The Xfinity Mobile number 19 ride rolls there in second. Anthony Ludi about 4.5 seconds behind our race leader, as the Sprite 95 ride rolls there in third. Al Likens back and forth with Gavin Grubbs there in that 5th position, and Drew King rounding out our top 6. Sheffield back in 7th with Brian Fine, Jack Simpson, Daryl Johnson, our top 10 on the speedway. But here comes Gage Wenzel. Wenzel down to the inside of him, as the 4 right unfortunately scrubs the outside fence, but Gage Wenzel will roll back up inside the top 10 here, but now trying to close that 1.4 second gap between himself and Brian Fine and Jack Simpson, trying to salvage another couple positions here late in this race, as Corey Denk right down across the line. Sees 2 more laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 more laps left to figure this one out here this afternoon, as the Tiny Toe 17 ride looking to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening at Kansas. Him and the Wicked Witch will round corner number 3 and out of corner number 4 here in the Space Panda 200, powered by Spider. What is that? Juicy Spider and Hypershift Racing League here. The Space Panda 200 is down to the final lap. Corey Denk out in front. He is looking to try to use this pit strategy, the fuel strategy, to put himself up into victory lane. As for the final time here this afternoon, he will go down through the corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. Looks like he will make enough fuel, and here at Kansas, bringing the Wicked Witch with him, the 17 of Corey Denk will put himself up and in to victory lane here in the Space Panda 200, powered by Hypershift Racing League, as the Tiny Toes ride gets the dub here in Kansas Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheer on Corey here this afternoon. Jump into the comments section and cheer him on. Say congratulations for our race winner, is Corey able to get it done and put himself up and into victory lane here in the Space Panda 200. Here comes his Tiny Toes teammate, the 77 rider, Dalton Winker, to show the love here this evening and cheer on his teammate as he'll get ready to burn down the house here on the front straightaway. A big win, a big drive here this evening for that 17 machine, and it all pays off. It started off a little rough, a little tough for the 17 machine, but it all comes to a close the picture-perfect way. The strategy and the racecraft here this evening, putting Corey up and into victory lane as he burns down the house here at Kansas Speedway. Excited to say the least here, getting the dub in this one, as we'll get ready to pull our top three up and into victory lane. A great run and a great drive there for Ryan Chronister, as Chronister coming home in position number 2, and Anthony Ludi coming home in position number 3. What a run right there for Ludi as well. Al Likens, Gavin Grubbs up inside the top 5 here this evening, as Daniel says there's no place like winner's circle. Congrats, KD. Cheered on KD out there on the Speedway. Christina says great fight, 36. Definitely until the end. Yes, he did. Kel says Corey cheered him on here, as Tommy says good job, guys. Or good job, guys. I'm assuming what you're trying to say, or go job, guys. Something like that. Good job, guys. Cheering on all these drivers, all these amazing competitors here this evening, as some great racing action this afternoon, as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to jump back in here and pull our top 3 up for some post-race interviews here this evening. Again, if you're experiencing any lagginess or the stream is stuttering or anything else, it's not on our end, chat. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know what's been happening here. I think it's Streamlabs, potentially the Streamlabs servers, running into some problems, having some issues here this afternoon, because on my end there's no skip frames, there's no problems, there's no issues. So if there is any problems, it is due to the back end of our streaming service here with Streamlabs. So we run everything through them. They technically take the signal from me and send it to their server, which sends it out to everybody, and sometimes that server that they send it to sometimes doesn't work very well, and it looks like tonight it may be one of those nights, and unfortunately, maybe it's the blood moon or whatever is happening outside. I don't even know. Maybe it's just chaos. Maybe Trump is turned us down or something. Maybe he doesn't want to see the Canadian broadcast over there in the U.S. I don't know what's been going on, but hopefully it's fixed. Hopefully it's good, and if it is lagging for you after the race, it gets re-uploaded and everything else, and you'll be able to go back and re-watch it and not have any of that lagginess, as it'll be completely through there and it'll crop those laggy parts out. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here, ladies and gentlemen. You're waiting here patiently. Let's get them up into the booth right now for their post-race interviews. Our race winner, Corey Dink, able to get it done. Let's get him up here into the booth. KD, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, Aaron. Nice to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you again as well, brother. But this time it's from Victory Lane, as you bring the Wicked Witch with you here at Kansas Speedway into Victory Lane, man. Take us back through this race and what was going on out there, as early on we saw you struggling, making multiple trips down pit side, trying to get that car repaired, trying to get some work done to it, and also trying to get the setup kind of right. And all of a sudden here, throughout that final long green flag run, a couple different pit stops, a couple different strategies unfolding for you, and it works out perfectly as you're able to time things perfectly, get that final pit stop in, and make enough fuel here to get to the end and put yourself into a situation to tap your heels and bring yourself home into the Kansas Speedway victory lane.
Yeah, it feels great. Took a lot of damage off that first yellow. Looks like Dylan kind of slid up 3 wide, didn't judge it great enough, and came down on me. My right front felt like it was like 4 feet in the air. Had a lot of damage on the right front, and luckily we got like 4 straight yellows after that, so I didn't go a lap down. I could get it all fixed up. The boys in the pit lane got it all taped up, and we were fast. But I was saving fuel that long green flag stint, just trying to do clutch in best as I could. And we had when I pit on 90, I knew I was good to the end, so I was just full bore down.
Absolutely, bore down, trying to put yourself into this situation. How close were you there towards the end of potentially running out of fuel here in this race?
I was kind of managing it. I didn't have to do any fuel saving that last stint. I did it all on the first. I had maybe 2.5, 3 laps left when I crossed the start finish. So we were good. But yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely. Still good there on that fuel, and obviously always in the back of your mind the potential of a green-white checkered finish. Obviously enough that you could probably roll and clutch it and keep yourself safe in there a little bit during the caution flag if it came out late in this race. But man, the tire's so important here. Just trying to hope and pray that that yellow flag never came back out. What was going to be the strategy call there late in this race if you did see that yellow flag come out and see that green-white checkered be a possibility here this evening?
Aaron, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about we're going green to the end, and I'm getting this win. So, if that did happen, we were gonna make a judgment call. Probably right side two and a little bit of fuel, but yeah, I know Gage pit super late, so he was gonna be fast, and yeah, it was gonna be tough. But luckily, it all turned out. Everybody kept it clean after those 4 or 5 yellows in a row, and yeah, I was saving from the get go after that. So, thankfully, it worked out in my favor.
Absolutely, brother. A little bit of strategy, a little bit of good luck here on the afternoon, and it all works out for you as you park that 17 ride, the Tiny Toes machine, up and into victory lane here this evening. Now, you and your teammate Dalton both have, a very amazing paint schemes here again. Dalton doing another great job and knocking it out of the park here, obviously with the Wizard of Oz inspired paint schemes here for us here tonight, and it's beautiful that you're able to put one up into victory lane for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He works his butt off trying to get these things put together during the week. And this is a scheme we ran last year too. Brought it back this year. I think they look awesome. We got a couple more limited edition paints coming this year. One on Memorial Day, so that's something that we're gonna be looking forward to. But other than that, yeah, it feels great. Thanks again to Dalton for putting all the time and effort into it. He does a great job.
Absolutely. Well, a huge thanks there to Dalton for you. But man, oh man, oh man, who else would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance and the victory here at Kansas Speedway?
Yeah, just thanks to my family again coming out. They tune in religiously every week, eight o'clock Central, nine Eastern. So thanks to you as well. You put on a good broadcast, and I think you keep all the folks entertained on everything going on the track.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Corey, we can't wait to see you back in action next Thursday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here, potentially back into victory lane and going 2 in a row here in the season.
Yeah, appreciate it, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Yeah, yep. See ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner as Corey Denk able to get it done and picks up the win here this evening. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place driver here on the night. It is the 19 ride of Ryan Chronister. Chronister coming home there in second. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth after a great running, great drive here for the 19. Hey Ryan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a run, what a rebound here for you, man, as you're able to get that 19 right now up onto the podium, one spot shy of the victory here this evening. But, man, take us back through this race. We saw you get some contact there throughout that little middle portion where we saw an onslaught of caution flags fly. We see you get tied up in the one, some pretty good damage there for you, but looks like you get it quickly repaired. You jump back out there onto the racetrack, you hit this fuel strategy absolutely perfectly, and you park yourself up onto the podium, man. Take us back through this race, through that caution flag, and what's going through your mind right now as you park up here on the podium?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Around lap 29 or 30, some guys came up off the wall in the backstretch and pushed me down on the apron, and I had it saved, and then somebody, shot me down on the inside and turned me, so I got a good bit of damage from that. I got it fixed over the next couple cautions, but I just took the opportunity on those next couple cautions after that to get off cycle on fuel a little bit, and those long green flag runs were awesome because I was able to save tires and make up some ground. And on that last green flag pit stop, I added a couple extra laps in the black box on that last one, and I think I crossed the start finish line with 0.7 laps of fuel left. So it was a little scary. I was lifting a little early and getting back in the gas a little later on the last 10 laps or so to make sure I had enough. But it was great. I've had a pretty rough season so far, but mile and a halfs are like my favorite track, and this was definitely a good one.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely worked out well for you as you parked that 19 right up here in position number 2 in the Space Panda 200 here this evening in the Hypershift Racing League. Ryan, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Just my brother couldn't make it to the race tonight, but we've been racing a lot, and he started on iRacing before me, and he kind of showed me the ropes and whatnot. So yeah, the would have been fun to have him here for this race, but he should be back next week.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure your brother is somewhere potentially tuning in and cheering you on, or I'm sure you're going to be messaging him and telling him to go back and rewatch this one, as he may be a little bit surprised, man. Obviously, a very solid driver and a very solid car over these first few races, but up here in position number 2 may be a little bit of a surprise there for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he was watching. If not, I'll definitely tell him to go back and watch it, because this was good one, and we've had a couple rough races so far this season, but this was hopefully the first of many to come.
Absolutely, brother. I can't agree anymore, Ryan. Congrats on a great run. Congrats on a great drive, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here again next week.
Yep, 10-4. Thanks for what you do, man.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher here this evening. The number 19, Ryan Gronister, as Ryan comes home there in position number 2. A solid run and a solid drive there for that 19 ride. As we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher here in the Space Panda 200 here this evening. The 95 ride of Anthony Ludi. Now, Anthony is the man with the plan. He's the guy who puts this whole show on, the whole shebang here, and getting all these drivers together, keeping everything under control, and putting all these sponsors in here and making this series possible. We can't thank Anthony enough for doing all the work behind the scenes and also getting us up here into the broadcast booth here for the season. But because we had this plan for a long time. It was a long time coming. I think he messaged me probably about 5 months, 6 months before the season even started, and locked me down, made sure that we were on board, and we had this night open and had this all available for these amazing drivers and for this amazing league. And I'm glad we were able to get that figured out and get this thing locked down. And here we are, put on some great races, some great drives, and some amazing content here on Peacemaker Gaming. We can't thank Anthony enough for having us up here in the broadcast booth for the Hypershift Racing League. And now seeing him finally up here inside the top 3, getting able to talk to him here in that 95 ride, as we'll pull Anthony up and into the broadcast booth. Hey, Anthony, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take it a copy?
I got you, brother.
Brother, man, what a run, what a drive. Finally, we're able to get you up here into the broadcast booth after a little bit of a strategy call out there on the Speedway. You were able to come home with a very solid top 3 run and rounding out our podium here tonight, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind as you're able to finally jump up here into the broadcast booth.
Well, it feels good to be here, first of all. And the strategy just hit. The cautions landed exactly right. It just made the strategy perfect for my fuel. I think I had like a 0.5, like a half a lap to go there at the end of the race. So I was pedaling it, trying to save a little bit. But, man, that my first time running that Sprite car, and that thing was bad fast. It felt really good tonight to get a podium.
Absolutely, that Sprite car definitely was fast, and it was looking great out there on the Speedway. It looks even better now that it's up here on the podium. Anthony, who would you like to thank, man? Obviously, you're the curator of everything here with the Hypershift Racing League and getting things rolling, getting things going here. Man, who would you like to thank for your first podium on the season?
First and foremost, obviously all the drivers. The drivers and all the admins. I definitely am not a one-man show here. This thing would not be happening without everybody. It takes a lot of time and effort to put these leagues together. And, as we saw tonight, we're a brand new league and some growing pains. We need to calm down a little bit early on in these things and, have some more green flag laps. But really proud of it, man. The energy is really good. There's a lot of positive atmosphere inside our Discord. A hell of a lot of talent here, man. These Tiny Togs guys, the 2430 guys, these guys are just so much fun to race with, and I'm having the time of my life running with RMS. learn a lot from these guys, and just happy to be here, man. You do a great job each and every week up in the booth as well. So rock and roll, brother.
Absolutely, my boy. I can't thank you enough for having me up here. We were just kind of talking about that before we pulled you up. It was a long time in the works to be, getting this series underway, having me up here in the broadcast booth. I think I had you on the schedule, 6 months before we saw that first green flag fly. It may have almost been 8 or 9 months as we were first talking and getting this lined up, and it has been very, very eventful off the start. Obviously, we've seen some great finishes, some great races. We've seen a couple go pretty clean and green, a couple that were a little bit wild out there, but here tonight it was a little bit of both. We see a lot of green flag laps. We see a bit of an onslaught there, caution flags between lap 30 and lap 45, but then we see it go clean and green the rest of the way, and you're able to use that fuel strategy and everything else to your advantage and put yourself up here into the podium, man. It was a heck of a run, heck of a race, and so far it's been one amazing series, and we can't wait to see what the future holds, not only for you guys, but for both of us up here, working together and putting on some great shows for all the fans in the stands.
Absolutely, man. This is just the beginning, and we're happy to be a part of it, brother.
Absolutely, my boy. Well, Anthony, a great run, a great drive, one of many, podium runs for you in the future, and hopefully one of these nights gets you up here first and into victory lane.
You got it, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, bud.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Anthony Ludy. As Ludy comes home there in position number 3 here this evening, man. A great run, a great drive there for that Sprite 95 ride. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here on the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and joining the fun here this evening with the Space Panda 200. This afternoon, powered and presented by Hypershift Racing League. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening, and we'll see you guys back in action here tomorrow night. As tomorrow night we'll be back in action. We got the Octane Outlaws tomorrow evening, so we're going to be back in action. Some more pavement racing, some more wild action here on Peacemaker Gaming, and we can't wait to see each and every one of you there. But thank y'all for tuning in, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Turbocharged hard, piston pumping like a beast. Black top, jungle feast on chaos, craving grease. 180 miles of asphalt ain't forgiven. In this chaos-driven life, only the fearless living. Checkered flag visions, adrenaline addiction. Metal chorus blare, ain't no friction fiction. Drafting on the homies, camaraderie's the trigger. Slides on the track, bombs ready, yeah we bigger. Rubber trains chasing speed and money. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop, or burst into flames. Fueling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Pit stop hustle, seconds ticking like grenades. Oil stained glory, history never fades. Helmet and visor, it's a warrior's enchantment. Every turn a gamble, every lap a commitment. Crowds roar, amplifies high octane behavior. Victory tastes sharp, savoring the flavor. Wind in the helmet, destiny's a blur. Burning rubber dreams, all senses concur. Burn rubber dreams, chasing speed and might. Engines roar loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop or burst into flames. Pulling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line. Burning the dreams, chasing speed and light. Engines roaring loud, blazing through the night. Lap after lap, the fire in our veins. Run till we drop or burst into flames. Filling up the spirit, nitro in the soul. Cranking up the madness, losing all control. Curves like serpents, straightaways divine. Track burning hot, toasting every line.